for staying with us. And of course, we do apologize for that lengthy break there, but sometimes you know how it goes when we're doing our live programs. I did promise you on the second half of our program, we will be focusing on what is happening at the University of Guyana more so tomorrow. Tomorrow is a big day for so many students. I'm just 1 year away from it, and I'm excited. So I can imagine what is happening tomorrow with those students graduating. It is my pleasure to always and to welcome him back, Professor Ivelaw Griffith. As you know, he is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana. Welcome back, sir.
Delighted to be here.
All right, great. And I must tell you, I feel special because I am in good company today. I'm always in good company, but it's very good company today. He is accompanied by Professor David Phoenix, and he is the Vice Chancellor of London South Bank University. Welcome to Facing the Nation, sir, and welcome to Guyana, of course.
It's always great to be back. Thank you.
All right, great. And welcome to a son of the soil. So I can't say welcome to Guyana to him. He's a son of the soil. Professor Jaipaul Singh, he is a physiology professor. Welcome to Facing the Nation, sir.
Very grateful. I love this place. My heart is here.
Oh, wonderful. And I promise to keep it here. We'll keep it right here.
Okay.
We always like our children.
My wife will get jealous.
Oh, oh gosh. Well, I mean that in a very platonic, lovable way. Gentlemen, let's chat. Beginning with you, VC. I always like for you to set the tone because I like to remind the viewers that you are a very passionate Vice Chancellor. You're always passionate about what's happening at the University of Guyana in terms of development. Let's talk about what is happening now. What are you preparing for tomorrow, and how is everything going?
I describe the season in which we're existing as celebration season.
All right.
And celebration season for the university in the conferral of degrees on students, over 1,600 of them, who will have earned, whether they're baccalaureate or master's, or in some cases, diploma certificates. And I want to use this opportunity to talk about that celebration.
Great.
And as I did last year, you may recall I had Dr. Paul Narai,
Yes.
who's one of the speakers. I thought I'd bring one of the speakers, Professor Dave Phoenix. And Dave does not go anywhere unless he has Jai with him.
Oh, this is a great combination.
Or should I say, Jai does not let Dave go anywhere in Guyana without him.
We've been together since 1992.
Wonderful.
And so tomorrow is a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the students who are graduating, but also celebrate and applaud the faculty, staff, custodians, librarians, technicians, engineers, all of whom had a contribution in making the path for success what it is.
Okay.
We start at 9 o'clock, and tomorrow we'll see an innovation where we have 3 ceremonies for the first time, all in one day. You know, we've grown beyond having one Turkine ceremony. Now, last year we grew to 2. This year we're going to 3. And we have, on the 17th at Berbice, the 4th of the celebrations for this year. Professor Felix is the graduation speaker at the 9 o'clock.
At 9, okay.
And the 9 o'clock is where we'll have 3 faculties, agriculture and forestry,
Okay.
earth and environmental sciences, and education and humanities. But you also know, Malika, that one of the things that we're excited about this celebration season is the conferral of honorary doctorates.
Yes.
And at the 9 o'clock, we're conferring 2 honorary doctorates on outstanding Guyanese, one of whom is named Eddie Grant, another of whom is named Yesu Prasad.
Yes.
And so celebration time, honorary degrees, almost 1,700 students, certificates, diplomas, degrees. We're happy.
Perfect. I want, even before I pull Professor Phoenix and Professor Singh into the conversation, I want to talk about a little bit about the logistics. You did indicate that this year, for the first time, we're having 3 on one day. Is it that you felt that that would be more beneficial or more accommodating?
Well, the reason for taking that decision had many elements.
Okay.
The number of students graduating, that has increased. But we also did not want to have what has happened, long ceremonies, where by the time you're ended, half the graduating class has walked out because it's the length of the ceremony.
Or they're sleeping.
And we also did not want to lose the personal touch where every graduate walks the stage, shakes the hand of the Chancellor, and has that take a picture, make that personal. So we're trying to have each ceremony be 2.5 hours.
Right.
Therefore, we're asking graduates and guests come on time. The 9 o'clock ceremony will start on time. So get there for 8. So you can line up in the Chancellor's procession and be there on time. The 1 o'clock ceremony, we're going to have the graduation of health sciences, in engineering and technology, and natural sciences. Keynote speaker for that one is Professor Norman Monroe, distinguished Guyanese engineer. And there we'll do the conferral of an honorary doctorate on Mr. Jaipaul Subraj, distinguished Guyanese based in the United States, wonderful, outstanding realtor in the real estate business, but he's done a lot of work in and around Guyana in education and social sector, including to the University of Guyana. And so he'll be getting an honorary doctorate at the 1 o'clock ceremony. And then we go for the largest group at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Social sciences,
Yes.
where you're part.
Yes, where I'm proud.
And SEBI. And SEBI will have the first students graduating through SEBI.
That was quick.
Well, it was quick in the sense that SEBI was created by a combination of existing and new.
All right.
So some of the existing programs in social sciences transitioned to
You
SEBI.
looked at that.
One program in tourism transitioned from education humanities to SEBI. So there were third-year students
Okay.
when SEBI was established who now are graduating through SEBI. But let me ask all the viewers who have family and friends who are coming,
Sure.
please honor our request to have 4 guests per graduate. Don't bring 10, don't bring 14, don't bring 40. As we did last year for the first time, we'll be having live streaming. So you can stay at home and
you
see and enjoy, but we want to be ensure that we have maximum celebration in the context of the limitations of the space and the limitations of the facilities. You know, when you have a lot of people need to go to the bathroom.
Yes, I understand
And
that.
so you want to be able to manage all those circumstances in an optimal way.
Professor Griffith, I'm going to come back to the accommodations now, but I feel I should pull Professor Phoenix in here, even without asking you to give away too much. What do you feel would be an important message that you would want to leave with those graduating tomorrow, especially in the era in which we're surviving? And I sometimes I think we're just surviving and not living, but especially in an era in which we're surviving where there are so many challenges, whether local, international, because at the end of the day, all of these things matter, and when it happens locally or overseas, it would have an impact on our lives. What sort of message would you want to leave with them in these times that we're living?
And I think you touched on the heart of what I'm hoping to speak about tomorrow.
Okay.
And the response to that is around the individual and celebrating the success and the achievement, but then going out into the world and looking at how they can influence change themselves. Because that's why UG was set up. If you look at the forefathers, you look at the statement, it was about creating opportunity within Guyana, but also having an influence on the wider world. So that's what we'll be talking about.
Okay, great. And I can see you're holding back because you don't want to give away much. That's right. Professor Singh, as a son of the soil,
Yes.
how proud of you are you of the University of Guyana, not only in terms of those graduating tomorrow, but the achievements and the progress that the University of Guyana would have made over the last 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years?
Well, we are 2 products of Guyana. Professor Ivelaw went to United States. I went to United Kingdom in 1974.
Okay.
So for the benefit of the audience and the graduates tomorrow, don't worry, your degree is recognized throughout the world.
Wow.
You can go anywhere.
Very
And this is very,
comforting.
very important. Many of us, we are the ambassadors. And of course, when we go abroad, we want to come back. So for the graduates tomorrow, don't worry yourself. Enjoy the day tomorrow. It's a day for you to enjoy. And then after that, you have to, and Professor Phoenix will tell you how the best way to find, your way forward and so on.
She's trying to write my speech for me now.
Oh, great.
In fact, I give the graduation speech, was it 2 years or 1 year ago in Tain?
Burpees 2 years.
And I had about 15 or 16 different items, which I mentioned, but it's still available. Anybody could email me and I give
you
them
give
some
it.
good ideas. But in passing, talking about this honorary degrees, the 2 of us we don't have honorary degrees, but we have Doctor of Science. He and I are the only 2 professors in my university. Then we had Doctor of Science. the highest degree any professor could get. And of course, this honorary degree is the highest honor any person who has done good in achievement in the country and in the science in your area and so on. So and I am proud of my friend to bring this now. And it's very, very important that for the first time, and then hopefully this will go on and on. I want to say something else.
Sure.
When he came here, he has changed this place. He has internationalized this university. He's a very good vice chancellor, and I'm hoping that he's here for almost for a very long time. People are going to reap a lot of
3 years more. Who
people,
knows?
yeah, people are going to harvest a lot of things. He, as I said, he has internationalized. Everybody knows now, and I'm hoping by next year now things will start to fit like a jigsaw puzzle, and we're going to move to better things, higher things, PhDs, MSc, many things, collaboration with us in England, America, and so on. This guy is a godsend, Vice Chancellor.
I agree. Viewers, if you're now tuning in, of course, this is Facing the Nation. Today we are talking about the University of Guyana, especially in light of the fact that a number of students are graduating tomorrow, and it's always a pleasure to hear what is happening at Guyana's highest learning institution. Professor Griffith, as I come back to you, Professor Singh rightly said it. You have, of course, and I know you always recognize your team, you have taken the University of Guyana to a level which we needed to get to. For too long, we, were in a sense in the slum. You have these two, and I would describe them as honorable gentlemen here who are a part of this, who have accepted the call and so on. How do you feel that not only tomorrow's graduation, but your continued actions to bring various persons on board? How are you feeling in terms of using that platform now to pull more persons to help to support your vision and your team's vision for the University of Guyana?
Well, I outlined my vision when I came here in 2016 June, and part of the vision was built around a proposition by a gentleman who created history in 1913, a gentleman called Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. And he said something which I've used as an epigraph for the pursuit of the Renaissance. He said, "You cannot cross a sea simply by standing and staring at the water." Lamentation wouldn't get you there. Intentionality will. And what we've been doing at the university is being intentional in building partnerships, bringing constituencies within Guyana and outside of Guyana, some of whom are not Guyanese, some of whom, like Dave, is a Guyanese by sociological osmosis. And that project has to continue. It has to continue as we rebuild physical infrastructure, as we enhance the academic enterprise, as we build the economic enterprise. I remind people all the time, and I said it yesterday at our university annual business meeting of the council, a university is not only an educational enterprise, it's an economic enterprise.
Yes.
And that component, in the context of University of Guyana, has got to be more entrepreneurial. So we have been steadfast in looking at how can we build entrepreneurial partners. How can we build partners that are individual partners, some of whom are organizations outside of the academy, but it's got to be on the basis of intentional partnerships. And I'm delighted that even before I became Vice Chancellor, these two gentlemen were passionate about the University of Guyana.
I'm happy that you said that, because that brings me to Professor Phoenix. How do you see the University of Guyana's potential in terms of what you would have seen around the world in terms of other universities, and especially since Professor Griffith is now saying that you were on board even before he came?
Yeah, I mean, I was introduced to UG over 15 years ago now, so I've seen it through a number of transitions. I think the biggest difference, as Jai said, is that the Vice-Chancellor has started to link UG back to the international arena, because the university has to provide what's needed by the local population, what's needed by the country, in terms of the skills and the knowledge, the pride and the opportunity in its students and its staff. But to do that, it has the opportunity as well to form international partnerships and to actually not just import expertise, but to start to export its knowledge.
Create your own.
And there is so much potential still, I think, at the university around opportunities now in terms of some of the new developments within oil and gas. The university started to launch new courses in that area. But a lot of opportunity there to look at the implication, not just the skills of oil and gas. And if you look back to the natural resource, one of the concepts we've talked about for a while is how we can further develop the research and the teaching in areas around biodiversity, but also maybe areas around tropical medicine. You have a great deal of expertise and opportunity here to look at tropical disease, not just the cause, but potential treatments, and link it back to biodiversity and the opportunities.
Guyana is a natural laboratory.
Absolutely.
Indeed. I'm happy you touched on oil and gas too. It's not only about oil and gas. We're also gone into the mindset of making Guyana a green state, the green state development strategy and so on. Of course, we know the strategy in itself, it's a document. But Professor Phoenix, do you find, again, that there is potential at the university whereby we can start to create and mold minds into thinking outside of the box instead of just the traditional careers and the traditional paths? And eventually I'd like to get your take on this too, Professor Griffith.
I think that there's two points I'd like to make. I think the Vice Chancellor's quite right in trying to develop a focus on enterprise. Now, enterprise doesn't just mean starting up your own company. It's about the skill set and the way of thinking that your students need to be able to make a difference in the world. And it's an area I'm really keen to do further work to help develop UG and support UG in that space. The second point I'd make is that the university can't do everything itself. It needs support from the government and from its alumni and from companies and businesses.
Yeah.
People can't just sit back and say, we want. They've actually got to help create the opportunity and the facilities. Because there is a vast amount of opportunity in UG, a vast amount of opportunity in Guyana. But if you're looking at the resource and you're looking at how you maximise the benefit of that resource back to its people, you need the facilities so that you can refine and develop that resource rather than sending it in crude form. And what do I mean by that? Well, you need the technology, you need the industry, but you need the people with the skills to be able to staff those industries, not people from overseas. And the university, if it can be provided with support, has a fantastic opportunity, not just to drive the economy, but provide those opportunities for people and actually help by bolstering the economy, strengthen the health service, strengthen the infrastructure because of the inward investment it will attract.
Right, Professor Griffith.
When we established the School of Entrepreneurship and Business Innovation, the mandate that I gave to the feasibility team was a mandate to be able to create a new thinking about possibilities. We need to enable young and not so young individuals to think of not where can I get a credential to go get a job, but what kind of job may I myself create by myself or with others. And so an important element of that pursuit called SEBI is precisely that. But I want to come back to it's not just oil and gas that you mentioned. I think especially because we are who we are, an agricultural society, and especially because of other experiences elsewhere, we should not allow ourselves to be so carried away with this oil and gas and neglect agriculture.
Could I add something to this?
But before Professor Singh, I want to say that it's partly because of that. A year ago, I established a working group. We had a stakeholders consultation, feasibility team, and on October 25th, we launched the Institute of Food and Nutrition Security. We've got to be able to do more on the research, on the advocacy, on the training, and I'll tell you what, as part of that feasibility project, we had a listening session in Regina, one in Albion, one in the Suez Dyke. It was wonderful to hear the farmers and the businessmen in Regina say, Vice Chancellor, we need people to come into the region, into the villages, and not give us big fancy theory, but tell us how we can make better agriculture. Tell us how, with visuals, how we can move from the primary production to the processing. So we intend to keep not only the investment and bring the partnerships on the petroleum and other areas, on the entrepreneurship, but we've got to drive that. With that conference that we had on the 25th, launched. We're going to become operational in January. I've already named the director designate,
Okay.
Dr. Dindyal Parmal, just retired as director, principal of the Guyana School of Agriculture, has been a permanent secretary in agriculture, has been a lecturer at the University of Guyana. We've got to now build the partnerships. And I'll tell you one of the things which is an important indicator of the value of the partnerships. The FAO came forward in tangible ways. He said, Vice Chancellor, this idea you have, we want to support it. They gave us a
Nice.
50,000 US dollars to do that feasibility. And they're committed to enabling us to operationalize and do the things, to enable us not to put all our eggs in the oily basket.
Yes, indeed.
Can I come back to the
Professor,
point?
Sure.
In 50 years' time, the world's population will probably reach 10 billion, and we'll have a problem with food. We have to feed the world. And this is what people have to realize. The Chinese are buying up land, the Arabs are buying up land all over the world because they have to feed their people. And Guyana and the Amazon basin is a food basket of the virtual world. And this is a golden opportunity now if we start to do these brand new courses in agriculture, different areas from oil to whatever it is, your fishery, etc., We're able to feed the world. But we will be the king of the food, so to speak. So this is where the government has to invest, working with the university and utilize the land. No sense we have land sitting there doing
Yep.
nothing.
Absolutely.
Professor
Money is
Singh,
wasting.
I'm happy that you said that too, because like so many out there, I'm one of the persons who grew up hearing people saying, all right, we need to get Guyana back to that time when we were the breadbasket of the Caribbean. Professor, do you believe that we were ever actually that, or is it, I mean, you did say now is the time, or is it that, we're now starting, because we're not only talking oil and gas, and well, we're not just talking oil and gas, but it is there, but now we're also talking, as I did say to Professor Phoenix earlier, we're talking green state.
Diversification is the word.
Is right. Is it that we're now jumping on board, or did we have the potential all along?
Oh, we have the potential all along to do this. But as the population is growing, as I said, the potential it's there, it's coming straight to us. And we have enough to feed ourselves and to feed the world. And we can employ a lot of people in different areas, and we have to make full use of this. As I said, you have nuts, you have oil. In Brazil, everything they're growing now, use up all the land and so on. Of course, we don't want to destroy the environment, because every tree that you destroy, you must plant one back. Otherwise, the carbon dioxide will take us over, because the trees which actually utilize the carbon dioxide to give us food, simple photosynthesis and so on. But come back to the university. Generally, a university is not a university unless they do research. It's written in the book. I went back and Google what is a university. Of course, to train people and so on. And of course to do research and innovative research, working with companies and so on. So that's what the university is all about. And as I said, the Vice Chancellor is doing this now. Get the companies to support people. In fact, what would be really nice if a few companies can give a professorship of forestry, or a professorship of agriculture, or a professorship or a lectureship, or some studentships as well. Because there's something, and I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Poverty should never prevent a young, bright boy and girl from getting a good education. Government must provide fellowships or scholarships or loans or something, because that bright boy and girl can become the president or the prime minister, ambassador of the country.
Absolutely.
And we cannot afford to see young people, talents are waste down the drain.
I'm languishing.
So
I want to say one thing before I know you've got to transition about the graduation ceremony.
Great.
Tomorrow is not only an opportunity to celebrate collectives, but it's an opportunity to celebrate individuality and uniquenesses. And we're going to be having points of pride focused on certain unique elements of that graduating class of over 1,600. We're going to be having some twins graduate in SEBI.
Oh,
We want to spotlight them.
lovely, yes.
We're going to be having a mother-daughter graduate. We want to spotlight them. We're going to be having the largest ever group of female engineers graduate tomorrow.
Oh,
We wanna
that's a
spotlight
powerful graduating class.
So, lots of things. We're going to be having the first masters in emergency medicine, the first masters in family medicine, the first masters in social work, the first diploma in psychology. So there are lots of, within the whole collective, lots of unique elements that are worthy of celebration in their own right. And I want to not only thank and congratulate the students, but again applaud the parents, the supporters, whether they are members of the family or not. congratulate and thank the members of the university community who've enabled the students to come to this point. But keep in mind that graduation is not the end of the journey. It is an opportunity for you to know what you know, but also what you don't know. Continuous improvement, continuous learning is what is important to keep in mind.
Perfect. Professor, you know, I never have you on this program without telling me about things that you know about that I may not know about. So now I'm going to, we have a few more minutes left in our program, and now I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk about some of the things I know you want to put out there, things that are happening and things that the public need to be reminded, things that are being done to, again, keep pushing our university as far as it can go in terms of higher heights.
Well, I'll say two. One, on the 15th of November, we have our 9th Renaissance lecture. Dave, you did the first. You delivered the first Renaissance lecture,
Okay.
February of 2017. And that lecture will focus on biological systems to help medicine. We have a distinguished chemist, chemical engineer coming from Delaware, Professor Babatunde Oganaike, coming to talk. He'll be spending his sabbatical here next year, but I said to him, since you've never been to Guyana, why don't you come, spend a few days, see the place, give a lecture. So Babatunde is coming in November, next week. And then on the 19th, we have Foreign Minister and Vice President Carl Greenwich. I asked him to have the conversation about Guyana and the international community. What is it that we had as a conversation at the United Nations? Where are we with the Guyana-Venezuela controversy? What's our interface with CARICOM? What's happening in the Latin American engagement in this particular hemisphere? So feel free to either come, both events will be on campus, and they also will be live streamed. So if you aren't able to come to the campus, you can feel free to be part of that. But I want to spend my last minute on preparations for the new degree programs.
Yeah.
In January of next year, we launch a Masters of Petroleum Engineering in partnership with University of West Indies, St. Augustine. We launch an Associate in Petroleum Engineering with University of Trinidad and Tobago. But we have a new degree in food science linked to that Institute for Food and Nutrition Security. We have a new degree in nursing in Berbice campus. We have psychology masters starting next year. We have a new degree in youth work starting next year. So there are lots of opportunities to broaden the horizon. If you finish one, if you finish the diploma, you want to do the master's in psychology, here's an opportunity to go. So look out for the announcements of the time when applications are going to be open, and celebrate those who are graduating, but celebrate your ability to graduate when you join the university next year.
Perfect. Yes, I will definitely have to give both gentlemen some time and some things to leave with.
My colleague, he will take over after me.
Great. Go ahead.
I just want to. I want to add something.
Sure, Professor.
It's in the United Kingdom, Dave's university brings in almost 50 million from foreign students. My university brings in 50 million. Oxford and Cambridge bring in 50 million. And I think the Vice Chancellor is trying to do this now. We need to generate a university. It's not a charity. But through foreign students, we can bring in millions. And that money can help local Guyanese, poor kids and so on from getting education. So all these nice courses we heard about, I would like to see for a start that more and more foreign students come into the system and so on. They bring good income. If certain local university can make 5 million a year, I know some, I can't call names, but nevertheless, why not UG? I've been the examiner in the medical school for 8 years, and all my reporters said, why train 20 students and 30 when we can bring in an extra 50? 50 students at 15,000, 55, £750,000, and you work out, that's a fourth year, and you double 50 year, and so on.
Yes.
University is a big business. Dave will tell you more about this. He talked now billions. It's a big business, and we don't run it like a charity. We have to, and he's doing this big. That's why he's trying to get all these guys from outside to come in and see as much and help as much as he can. And finally, on my part, graduates, I would like to congratulate you. Tomorrow, it's your day and your parents' day. And parents, you have done something excellent for your kids. The best gift any parent could give to his or her child is good education. Education like money. The more you get, the more you want. Like the Vice Chancellor and me, we had a BSc or BA, then we went to America or United Kingdom to get more. And then it goes on and on.